First, I want to say welcome. We're meeting for the first time. Of course, Catherine will be joining us later, but William, it's great to meet you. Please tell us a bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Hi, good morning. My name is William Vasquez Jr. I actually work for an auditing firm here in South America right now. This whole COVID-19 situation kind of threw a wrench in the whole program of my life. I was down here on vacation and all of a sudden I was stuck here for 4 months. So while I was here, since I'm bilingual and obviously my background, my parents are Ecuadorian, I just looked for a job down here. And right now I'm doing internal control on accounting basically here for education institutions. So I actually met Catherine while I was at Texas A&M University in Texarkana, and that's how we got in touch with you basically. And hopefully this rocks.
All right, that's great. So you're in South America currently?
Right now I'm in Guayaquil, Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Crazy. I am like in one of the worst cities where the COVID hit the hardest. Unfortunately, like I said, I was on vacation visiting my parents, and all of a sudden the airports got shut down. So now I'm living here for 4 months. Originally, I'm from New Jersey,
Mhm.
uh, born and raised in the states. Grew up. What can I say? Yankees fan, Knicks fan, East Coast all day, every day, basically. But now I'm down here and trying to make the best of the situation at hand.
All right. So because of the pandemic, you were forced to stay there. Like, when did you originally go there? Like, oh, what month?
I I went down. I came down here like in the first couple of days of February, like around February. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, the last week of January, the first, basically like February the 2nd, I was here. So, and I was only going to be here for a month or so, and then all of a sudden, boom, COVID hit, and then I'm here for like who knows. My next plane flight will be on July 17, hopefully coming back home. But for now, I'm still stuck here for another month, so it seems.
So originally, what you went over there to do in the first place?
I came down here because I graduated from college for my master's degree, and I came down. I just wanted to take a break because at the time, December graduation was December 12th, and back in the East Coast, that's winter time. So that's winter, snow, ice, just basically throwing salt in your driveway, shoveling snow every morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm not looking forward to just that. But why not go on vacation, visit my parents, stay down there for a month or so, try to let the winter go by, and then just, come back when spring comes around. And unfortunately, that does not seem to be the plan at this time. Far from it.
Yeah, I heard that it's the opposite. Like when it's winter in the in northern hemisphere, it's usually summer in the southern hemisphere.
Exactly. Here in Ecuador, it's like hot and hotter. That's just two. There's no four seasons, just two. It's either you get hot with rain or hot and dry, like nothing. So it's
Well, yeah, you're at the basically at the center of the world because you know the Earth's tilt.
that's
You're
right.
never down or up. Like Argentina's probably snowing right now.
If the I'll put it this way. Yeah, probably just about. You're just about correct on that one. We're just like basically we're in the smack in the middle of the planet right there. So we're always at the closest stage, closer to the sun at any given day in the year. So it's just hot, period, down here.
How has this setback affected you personally or professionally? I mean.
Well, to be honest with you, uh, I'm always the positive looker in the situations that happen in life. I wanted to say, you know what? I wish I was back in the States and starting to take advantage of my degree while I'm out there, but I don't know. It affected me with the fact that I got to spend more time with my parents. It affected me with having to be living with my father 24/7 for 4 months straight after like so many years not living with him. So it it kind of was a great experience. I can't say it was bad because I actually got a job while I was down here. Right now, after this, I'm starting another month. I have to analyze statements and whatnot. So it's not that bad. I mean, everybody has their horror story. And yeah, sure, I probably have, once I get back to the States, I have a bunch of things to take care of in the mail. But other than that, everything that I've been able to take care of internet wise, like payments, credit cards, all that, is solved. And like for example, my college loan right now, the government gave like a 4 month extension, so I don't have to worry about financial aid payments until November. So that kind of like things kind of balanced out and worked out in my advantage. I can't say it probably was is not the same case for everybody, but in my case, it kind of I'm okay, doing all right.
All right. And what's it like? Everything going on in the states right now. What is it like? Seeing it from the outside looking in, and knowing that you probably missed the boat on something that you left the states, and then this perfect storm just swept the entire country. How does that feel?
To be honest with you, on that front, I do feel left out, but at the same time, like I've done my part, like anybody, I would assume that can through social media, through their friends, just backing up people saying, hey, if you're going to a march or a rally, do it. Take your flyers, take your banners, make your presence known. With the people that I've spoken with, every single person I've spoken to, I've told them, look, whatever your actions are of the day, make sure they can be echoed for years to come. Don't partake in the nonsense. Don't start looting.
Hold on, Will. I'm gonna let you go on. Put a pin on that. Remember what you were saying. Catherine is just coming in,
Okay, gotcha.
so I'm just gonna tell her, give her a welcome and hey, welcome back.
Hey, how you doing,
Hey,
Kat?
good. How are you, Will? Hey, Zuri, how are you?
I'm doing fine. It's great to have you back on here. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I was so like, when I saw the message, like, oh, we're starting, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm late.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
okay.
doing
We
so.
we had to improvise a little bit, but thank you. You finally made it. We're just getting started. We're just getting to know Will, and I just asked him how does it feel to be like to leave this country as soon as this perfect storm of craziness took over the country. So I'm gonna just let Will continue on this thought. Then I'll come back to you.
Okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
Will.
Well, like I was saying, to feel left out. Wow, it is. I believe the time is right just to partake. Like Nelson Mandela says, that the time is always right to do right. These protest manifestations, they should have happened always until equality, until I can't say the end of racism, but about time when everybody can walk down the street and not have to worry if that's the last day they're going to come back home. In my end, how I feel, I wish I could be there at least to partake and go and try to be one of the people that keeps the group together. In other words, don't partake in the looting. Don't partake in the nonsense that's going to bring a negative effect to the movement. It's actually important. If you loot, like, I don't know, if you break into a store and steal cell phones, that's what's going to be part of the news. But if you just there protesting, taking a knee, standing, sitting down, and just letting them know that a life shouldn't have been taken, now that's the main focus on everything. And not being able to partake, as Kat knows me, I'm one of those people that I speak my mouth, my mind, and I say with the loudest voice possible out of my mouth, hey, here I am. This is not right. Let's push on for something better. That's how I've always treated my life, and that's how I treat everybody that I meet. So this is nonsense.
Yeah, speaking on that, I was on the peaceful protest and taking the knee. I was one of the when I was I think it was my junior year, 2017. I was one of the people who originally took a knee during football games. I took a knee before the national anthem played before games. Yeah, I originally got harassed, but it a lot of frustration stemmed from like the unwillingness for other people to listen. It's like this we try to be peaceful before, and then they have the nerve to they have the audacity to say we have no reason to be angry, which is basically where a lot of the rioting and looting originally started. It's like this old like Tupac Shakur, one of the most influential people, the most influential person in my life is he had this he was in an interview and said, if me and a group of people are hungry and we see there is a door in front of us, and in this room we see we're hungry and we see them throwing food around, and they clearly have a lot of food, enough food to feed us, and we're trying to sing our way in, we're trying to peacefully sing our way into the room and says we are hungry, please let us in, we are hungry, please let us in. Then after months we start to get a little bit more aggressive, we hungry, we need some food. After years and years we're going um, then that little we go from singing to chanting, then we chant louder, we hungry, we need some food, you better give me food or we're breaking down the door. And like after years and years we're like we done like asking, then after that we're taking, we felt like we're forced to take. I'm picking the lock and coming through the door blasting, and that's probably how hip-hop came to be. So yeah, we try to, and we see this culturally through our whole country. We went like music, like black artists went from Chuck Berry to Marvin Gaye, and then
To
to hip hop
NWA? To
with
NWA?
yeah, NWA. Like that's
A
and it's
natural progression?
yes, that's the irony that that's the irony that they have the audacity to say we became more aggressive, we became more violent, when we try to be peaceful at first. You know, like I said, if you give no give us bad choices, bad options, we're gonna make bad choices. So yeah, that's
Okay.
how that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. Now, Catherine, so you don't feel left out. I'm sorry. I know I talked for a long time, and but how are you? Last time I talked to you was pre uh United States dumpster fire, pre before all this uh took over. You know, we were still in the pandemic, but how are you? How have you been able to maintain seeing everything going on and all these protests and everything that's going on right now?
Yes. So when I first saw the video of George Floyd, which was very hard to see because, it's basically see someone that has no regard of life. That's specifically someone that was probably just living, going through the day, didn't even know that that day was going to be his last day, to even have his final breath. So kind of seeing that, and then seeing the movements of people coming together and saying that this is enough. We're no longer going to be nice about it. We're no longer going to look at it, be sad about it, and do nothing about it. Like, we're all going to take a stand. This is enough. And seeing all the people, white, black, Hispanic, Indian, all together, going to different places all across the country, just uniting and protesting for this was really amazing to see. Because whenever we always say, like, people need to wake up, people need to get together, we need to unite in order to not be so divided, and not to be in the same plan that the systematic government and the systematic racism and oppression keeps on trying to divide and separate people by zones, by class, by status, by color, by ethnicity, which was really good to see. Like, seeing everybody kind of uniting and putting a stop to that made it possible for people to no longer be in a comfortable zone. Like, unfortunately, these things all happen, but it was like God saying that I had to make you uncomfortable so you could move, so you could do something, so you could unite, so you could speak up, so you could talk. This is no longer a time for you to play it safe. This is time for you to actually say what you like, do what you're gonna say, stand up for what you believe in, and actually voice it out. And I think all of that starts with just having conversations with your family members. And throughout this whole time, I've been just having a conversation with my mom, with my stepfather, with people from my family, because I do come from a Latino, community household. And, in the community, sometimes more of the elder generations could be a little bit more traditional, more conservative, and have a certain way to seeing things than we do now. Because, we're more younger generation. We actually are more surrounded and united, and we live together with people that of different colors and ethnicities and places and backgrounds. So we see people and we see the things that are happening. We want to help. And ever when we feel uncomfortable kind of talking to our family members about it because they might not really understand where we're coming from.
Most definitely.
I think it's where my mind has been this whole time. One, just having that conversation, because how can I stand up for something and want to be a part of it, but I can't even talk to my family about it or tell them like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, without them like, okay, where are you going? Like, why are you doing that? Also, the media has a negative way of portraying some of the things. Like, have you guys seen like the looting and everything? Even though that did happen. What the media does not show is that Antifa and a lot of government paid individuals were doing all of the looting, or most of the looting. And that also put like a negative notion to people, protesting. And most of the people that I also know have gone to the protests, and they talked about having being very peaceful. And some of them kind of turned into more of a negative aspect where like police surrounding them and beating them and arresting them for no reason. So just seeing that, when it does put like, worry in your heart, because you want to go protest, but what if all those things happen? Or, sometimes it's not being able to go to the protest because you're at work, or you have to do things at home and your family does not want you to go out. Especially for me, when it comes to my family and how it is all structured, I really can't go out like that. And during this time with coronavirus and more of the police brutality being increased, my mom was like, don't do that. You could do so many things in other ways. And I'm also speaking for people that kind of feel guilty for not going, because obviously that's a way that you are also there united with people, specifically for the Black people. Like, you want to be there for your Black friends, you want to be there for your Black family, anybody that has impacted your life in a positive way, you want to be there, right? But you can't, or you fear that something's going to happen. Well, this is where you can turn the guilt into something positive. Like, let me go ahead and donate. Let me go donate. Let me spread the word. Let me, like, if anybody of my friends or anyone that I can support, Black businesses, Black writers, Black authors, Black artists, any person that I can help out in a way, and just promoting them and donating and giving my time, community service, anything. That is kind of where I'm going. Like, that's where my path is going into. Specifically with my college, I'm part of the organization Crown, which is creating and reclaiming opportunities for women nationally, specifically for women of color, African American women. Even though I'm a Latina, there's this one girl, her name is Darylyn Dean, with Color Didi. I don't know if you remember, Will. She actually started a project. She started a project, BLM project, Black Lives Matter project, and I mean, it's amazing. She set it up. She created things that we could do for people to kind of see what we want to do. We're a smaller school. Like, predominantly, it's a lot more white than anything else. So what she did, we had to turn in like artwork, poetry, photography, anything that relates to the Black Lives Matter movement. And then the next project, a Facebook Live with activists in Dallas or closer to where she's at, so we can have like a conversation going on. And then the last one, do not remember, but it's basically being in the works. I still have to finish my artwork so we could put it into, or send it towards the BLM organization and put it to the Crown Instagram post. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like lost my train of thought. But we're gonna put it there, promote it there, and see if we can inspire other people to also join into the movement and see what we do as well. We are a small school. Sometimes we feel like we want to do big things and we don't know where to start. And just start with a small organization, small community can make a big change to that. That's what we inspire so many people, and hopefully bring out a message that Black lives do matter. And we're here to stand in a positive light, and hopefully we bring justice to where it needs to be. So that's where I've been this whole time.
Well, yeah.
I know a lot of things. Hopefully it was easy to understand.
That was actually really nice, Catherine. To be honest with you, there's a couple points that you mentioned there that I wanted to like reflect on because they are actually great points. Number one, it was a nice way how you handled the older generation with their way being conservative. I'll be honest with you. I have elder members in my family. They're straight up no nonsense. They were brought up old school style, and they were like, "Oh, cuidado, don't go over there. Tú sabes que quienes están allá." And I'm like, "Dude, his dad is a mechanic. He's my friend. We play football together. There's nothing wrong there." Okay, but tú sabes, you know. I'm like, no, chill. It's not like that. That's one. That's one. So within the Hispanic community, let's be honest. We are there's all the shades of color under the rainbow in the Hispanic community. There's Asian Hispanics, Black Hispanics, white Hispanics, brown Hispanics like myself, albino Hispanics. Jesus, we have it all, everything. There isn't one shade of color that isn't within our culture. So to be a little bit hypocritical, we shouldn't. We should always be together with every single culture, nationality, helping each other out. That was one. Two, on the violence thing, no matter how, I guess Michelle Obama said it best, no matter how low they go, we should not follow. We should go higher. We should hold ourselves to higher standards always, at all times. That's where one can really shine who we are. And it's not about Hispanics, Blacks, Chinese, or whatever. It's about human beings being treated with respect, not having to walk out of their houses with fear, not knowing that they're going to be able to come back to their loved ones, and to act right, to be a gentleman, to be a lady, to respect the, I don't know, traffic signals, do everything that you should do on your everyday, and not have to worry, oh, because I am dressed a certain way, because I look a certain way, I might just be stopped. And that stop might just be fatal. That's the part that's messed up. If they stop me and I do the routine, hands on the wheel, 10 and 12 or 10 and 2, and give my papers and everything's fine with me, there should be no reason that I get a nonsense ticket, or even worse, not get to go home at the end of the day for just driving or walking or whatever the heck it is that the reason that you were stopped. That was the second point. And third, I just wanted to say, hey, more power to you with Crown. I know we are a small school, but hey, all it takes is one person, one like, one greeting, one acquaintance with somebody somewhere. Like I always told you, network. Until your idea, your goals start rising up, and that's from the bottom of my heart, girl. You know that I truly admire you. You are the hardest working ladies that I've ever met. At your age, you'll be geared by 30. You'll be 30 to watch under 30.
I'm gonna speak that into existence. But just to kind of add to what you said, most of the things and the places and there's people that I'm around with or surrounded with, like for instance, Crown, like Alana, Medina, Courtney. I was like, who is it? Who am I missing? But more like so many like African American women that are on like in our campus that are beyond amazing. They are the ones speaking out. They're the ones organizing, wanting people to stay together, and they're so smart. Like, it's crazy, you know. And I do agree with treating people as human beings, because that's what we are. We are human, the human race. We're humankind, and wanting to respect all of that also starts from just recognizing that there is a disconnect with people treating people like human beings. So the disconnect is where they see a person, like a Black person, and see from the color, and they already racially profile them, or they created a system where they divide us all into different places where we don't have enough resources or good education or anything like that, where we can actually elevate to a higher level. So that is where they want to create or keep a negative notion for Black and brown communities, and keep that negative profile that we hold supposedly to the media. And just keeping that there kind of affects us all. And that's how they portray or want to keep dividing us all. Just keeping that same notion going. But as of right now, I mean, even then with all of that, there's so many positive things going on. People getting together, and so many positive things in the Black community, in the brown community, so many other communities, but specifically in the Black community, where people are uniting and people are supporting Black owned businesses.
Yeah,
And
real quick about the older Latino community. You know, our parents, our grandparents, you know, and they are conservative in many ways. They feel like, because they experienced the world in a different way than we did. You know, if you were to call like during George W. Bush, you know, we call him a war criminal. But if you were to tell like someone from Cuba or Nicaragua or whatever, wherever where they had these dictators, they say, before you call him a war criminal, remember Castro or whoever. And like, and they have to be we try to teach them like, when you send 18 19-year-old troops to fight a war that intentionally to the wrong area, just because you have a personal vendetta and a uh, personal interest. You know, we sent troops to Iraq after the 9/11 attacks with the only purpose to see with oil. Like, that's considered a war criminal and war criminal. But you know, you talk to like, if you were to ask our grandparents, like who came from Cuba, like, oh no, we this is like, oh no, that was worse. And like, it's really hard to get into them because they grew up uh suffering, and like, we none like suffering through it. And yeah, so that's like really hard to get it through to our parents. Like, I try to get through to my dad. Like, hey dad, I took a knee. It was about police brutality, and so it was like, oh no, you shouldn't be disrespecting that. I want to go to a church and just be starting slaying whatever, just because that's disrespectful. I was like he like obviously he's never gonna understand it. I could try to make him understand, but you know, it's just a generational gap.
It's
So
gonna be tough.
a question I have for both of y'all, William, I'm gonna let you go first. What do you feel is the uh next uh next step? What do you feel like is the next step we should take in order to move forward? I'm gonna let William go first, then Catherine, you can follow.
One thing I noticed, like, I don't know if you guys paid attention to what happened with the gun right movement, with the protests from starting in Florida and whatnot. All the media was with the attention, everything, and they were hot for a good minute and a half, and then all of a sudden it died off. So for me, the next step with anything that happens, any type of situation that arises, being racism, gun movement, the environment, whatever the case might be, is to be constant. It can't be just 2 months, oh, we're rioting, oh, we're protesting, oh, we're silent, we're taking a knee during the national anthem on the NFL, whatever, Sunday night football, whatever. No, It has to be every weekend, every day. And you know what? It eventually is going to hurt the pocket. That's where it's going to hurt the most. Because if people don't go out to the malls, if people don't go out to your local restaurant, if the people are not not buying and they're on the street just protesting, that 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 hit of money not being exchanged from hand to hand. Oh, guess what? Protesters again. We didn't sell any hot dogs in New York City because protesters were down Fifth Avenue. Oh, there was no Cuban sandwiches sold down in Miami, South Beach, because everybody was on Ocean Drive just manifesting. Oh, there was no, I don't know, whatever's hot in LA. No Gucci bags were sold because everybody was down by LAX protesting. So to be constant, to not let it just fade away, because right now it's one life that George Floyd that was mentioned, but it's worldwide, everywhere. Germany, you see protests, and there were even in crazy. I don't know if it's true or not. I saw this video where they were protesting all the way in the Middle East. So it's like Egypt, people that we've been messing around with, they're backing us up right now. So Germany, France, Spain, England, the United States, even down here in Ecuador, myself, I put my flag out for no reason whatsoever other than to let them know, hey, maybe people, my neighbors, they'll look at it and oh, se volvió loco, whatever. But it's a manifestation of, hey, this is not right. This shouldn't happen. And if we just let our personal things get in the way, then maybe 3 months from now, you'll see more protests, more rioting, more of everything. So every weekend, no matter what, don't let it fade away. Don't let it just die out, because otherwise we're not going to achieve anything.
Catherine?
I agree. Yes, you kind of add what he said. Being consistent and being intentional with what you say and what you do comes a really big part with how you are and your character. So if you really truly believe in this and you want to continue, please continue. Like, even if, let's say, you're not doing just protests, you can do so many other things. Every little thing counts, no matter how small your platform is. Always speak, always do, walk your talk, do things that are intentional with what you believe. So one of the biggest things that I believe is to move next, definitely is going to have to be a restructuring in the system and a system of justice with police officers being penalized with being fired, penalized, or charged from any criminal activity that they do, and shooting at a person, profiling a person unfairly, and just killing someone with totally disregard of humankind. I think that needs to change. Definitely something different with the police, criminal justice system. And another thing will be voting. Whether you believe voting is going to change anything or not, J. Cole said that democracy is too slow. It is slow. It's a slow movement. But gradually we're moving there. We're speaking up. If we want something to change, we need to come together, build an agenda, and be intentional. Like, hey, what are you going to do for the Black community? Like, are you going to put a stop to police brutality, or at least reduce it, or do something to help bring resources to the communities that are in the projects or anything like that? Kind of invest back into the education system, or somewhere where we could help out people that are homeless, people that are not financially there, people that are suffering from abuse and other things in the category, etc. Kind of doing all of that, right? So I think voting is going to be one of our biggest things. Whether you say voting is not going to affect you or whatever, sure, all respect. But I do think that voting is going to be major. And one of the major things is your local government officials, whether that is the mayor, whether that is judges, your DAs, your county commissioners, all those people in your area. Get to know them, what are they supposed to put into, like, if they were, let's say that you go a senator, what are they going to bring? What is the agenda? What are they promising to bring? You know, kind of getting more involved with that and getting ready for these upcoming elections is what the things. So voting is going to be a major part, kind of getting educated in that, and just know how the system works. And financial literacy. I think people should learn how to be financially independent in some way. That's going to be one of our biggest things, because some of us don't have the time to work a 9 to 5, or if we do work a 9 to 5, we kind of, you know, be so much on our plate to pay bills, do this, do that. So finding a way where you could make your own different source of income come your way is going to be a big thing as well. So, and supporting Black businesses, anybody that we can do, just to bring that kind of awareness.
All right.
So
real quick, my solution is summarized as just police reform and voting for officials that approve police reform. Not only that, reform to fix voter suppression laws and systemic and any other systemic problem. But yeah, we're running short. Of course, we started a bit late. We're running short on time. But I appreciate both of y'all for doing this. I appreciate you, Catherine, for coming back. I appreciate you, William, for taking the time to do this. Again, like, thank you for coming on here. Anything? I'm gonna start with William. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
To be honest with you, to be here was an ordeal and a half for me. But I do appreciate all the help and understanding on behalf of both of you. Personally, I just want to say to all my friends and everybody out back at home, whatever you have to do to be present, to contribute to the movement, do it. Do the right thing. Don't break the law. No matter how messed up things are, don't let the nonsense be placed on you as a headline. Let your actions speak louder than anything else. Be the force. Show the light. Be the right person. Be the right woman, the right man. Do the right thing. That way, no matter how they look at you, how they point the finger, how they want to spin it in the media, they have nothing. That's my word to anybody back home. And hopefully I get back there soon enough so I can do my thing and be part there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half a day, an entire weekend, whatever it might take. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Catherine, I will be in Texarkana soon, hopefully next month. I'll give you a shout out while I'm out there. My man, a pleasure to thank you for having me and giving me a platform where to speak and let be heard. Appreciate it much.
Catherine, take us home. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
yes, obviously keep it short and sweet. Take care of yourself, meditate, pray, and establish principles and things that you want to put and step forward. Anything that you're trying to is possible with discipline, work ethic, and making sure that you embrace and exemplify people of all races and colors. You believe in, supporting each other and being there for one another, but also being there for yourself. Take care of your mental health, specifically during this time. So that it could be negative. It is very important to kind of just disconnect and regroup, reconnect, rekindle with yourself. So in the future, if I'm able to build a platform for myself as well, I like to be able to create projects and podcasts that can embrace that as well. So thank you so much, Zuria, for everything, for taking us both and kind of listening to what we want to say and what we had to say about all of this. And hopefully people can, take a little bit of what we said into consideration during this time. And can't wait to see you, Will. And hopefully people out there in Texarkana, TAMUT family, can't wait for this fall semester. Is going to be amazing. Can't wait for all the things that we have planned for the fall.
All right, William, Catherine, thank you so much.
Thank you.